kids cutting through yards and all that. Rightfully so, right? Legit concern. There's just no data available. We know what kids, on the student list, who's that gets a bus and who doesn't, but there's no information available of who are designated walkers, who gets a ride to school, rides their bike, or who actually walks.
Okay. And the chain link fence that was talked about last week goes on the end of Lincoln Extension and then at the property line too. So there's actually 2 fences. That's what I gathered from that. So that's a lot to climb over if you need to get out of there. So
yeah, and it's going to be 8 feet tall.
Right.
I mean, I remember when I would have had pause even as a teenager on an 8-foot fence. Not a 4-foot, but maybe an 8,
Right. Okay. And another question that I'd like to, and people may have this question, so I'm just going to ask it. Was there any moratorium or anything on, is it Woodcliff Road right here? If high school no longer happens in this building, are they still going to allow us to have access to the new high school across the way? I mean, are they going to say, great, I don't have to worry about this anymore, I don't have a high school here,
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
Do you, Mr. Terrell? I don't think anything like that would have come up yet.
Okay, so that's something to consider because... What was that?
So that this school up here, when it closes, will be repurposed. So again, I'm making an assumption, but that access road will maintain its hours for whatever that repurposed school building becomes.
And for Kennedy, they still need the buses come and they still will use it for Kennedy.
Okay, all right.
But I can't predict.
But there's no way, there's no plan in mind like, oh, this is also going to take the bus traffic or whatever that no longer is going here but going across there. Like, it's just for cars, or can it be for buses too? If anybody's a teacher, they could let me know.
It's buses today. This access road.
Okay, so buses come down this way.
Yeah.
Okay, so if they're going to the high school across the street, they're going to also use this access way.
I don't know.
Okay, well that might be.
Can you give him a microphone? I
Oh
can't
yeah,
hear
sorry,
him.
yep.
Thank you, Karen.
Yeah, sure.
So Bill, might want to check with Mr. Waddick at the clerk's office. When they did take this road off of Woodcliff as an access road, it was access to only a high school building. And if it was to change from a high school, it would no longer have access. That was with the Woodcliff Association. So
Okay.
Mr. Waddick would have all that information.
Okay. Thank you.
I haven't read that, so I'm not sure, but we will still have cars coming and everything. The plan was to use it as part of getting cars to the new high school, and then we'll plan the routes for the buses, however makes the most sense to either go around or to come through. So it really depends on what will be there, but we definitely plan on, I believe, still using the access road.
Bill, another thing that came up in my mind when we were going through, parking, driving, etc., was can we get an answer from the school committee or school board, whoever has this answer, as what is allowed in terms of, is it just seniors that can have cars? Can anybody have a car? I know that the teachers are going to have assigned spots, but I don't know that the kids are.
Yeah, every spot will be assigned,
Including
in the
to
new school.
students?
Yep.
Okay, but where does that end? I mean, like, can anybody who wants a spot get one? I don't think so, because there's 1,800 students and only 650 spots, so.
Yeah, but 850 students don't
Drive?
to school, right?
Okay, so you think anybody who wants to park can?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't know how many seniors drive to school, June. I don't know.
Okay, can we check what
I don't know how we would even get that.
Well, whoever does the assigning of the spots, right?
Apply for a permit.
You have to apply for a permit at the school?
Yeah.
Today, yeah.
Today?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so maybe
to
it's the
drive.
same, and then maybe we'll get a head count from there, right?
Sure.
Can you talk
talk a little bit about what is the plan for alternative transportation? Because my kids will definitely be walking to school. I'm up on Larchmont.
Okay.
I don't want them going through anyone's yard, but there are the woods,
Sure.
and they should have some hole in the fence that would be appropriate with a bike path or a walking path. Because Lexington Street, honestly, it's just going to be a nightmare. And we need to encourage alternative forms of transportation. And I'd like to see that
Sure.
part of the plan.
Yeah, no, I'll take that as feedback. It's currently not in the plan because of the opposite sentiment, to keep kids from
I understand.
having
but
that single.
There is public land.
There is, and the trails up in that area will stay, and obviously all
But
the
you have
streets
to-
will still end at that new high school property. So,
Right. So but there has to be an entrance for them.
yep,
On those public trails.
yeah. Let me bring that up. It hasn't come up to date until right now. So, thank you. Yeah.
Yes, but especially if we're trying to eliminate, as much parking, as much driving as possible. Okay. Hey, anybody else? We have a working microphone now. Oh, sure. Test.
Hi everyone, John Sachs, 30 Curve Street. I checked the FAQs, and I apologize if this has been well publicized, but I didn't see it anywhere. Do we know what the frequency of the blasting is going to be? Is it going to be once a day, multiple times a day, fewer than one time a day?
We don't have all that information yet. The blasting plan will broadcast all that in the schedule. All they've committed to me as of this last week and this week is multiple times per day, but no other information until the blasting plan's written. They're right now, I don't know if anyone knows this, but right now they're in sort of an exploration kind of mode to figure that stuff out. There's 2 weeks left of that. So a company called Earthworks is in there doing exploratory drilling to figure all that kind of stuff out. And then when the blasting plan is produced, signed off on, approved, all those things through the bureaucratic process, it will contain all that information.
And it will contain where the blasting sites are?
It will. It'll have the exact locations of the blast holes, all that kind of thing.
All right, Phil Chorman again. Related question, extension to that, the drilling cadence. Some of us are concerned that in between those powerful concussions, we're going to have maddening, repetitive banging of the drilling. Enough said. So as soon as it's available, will you please make that known what the plans are? When this question came up by me about a year or so ago, year and a half ago, we were told drilling would not be the primary method of removal.
Sure.
That's as far as Lorraine wanted to go
Okay.
in not answering the question.
Yeah. And in addition to that, what will be some of the rock removal operations and all that kind of thing as well, trips per day, what will be done on site versus off site, all that. But again, we're just too premature to have those kind of granular details. But as soon as we do, we'll put it out there.
Yeah, in addition, this is a great time to start asking this stuff, and we want to ask often and early, and get people used to these kinds of questions so that no one's surprised. It's on. Nope, totally on.
Hi, I'm Alex Rickard, and I live at 574 Lexington Street, and I got two things I'm going to bring up. First one is, do you have any plans of taking land in front of the yards on Lexington Street?
No.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't.
No.
There's no plans for any more
That is no.
land taking.
Alex, I would have to agree to that. No is the
What did she say?
She said no.
No.
Oh, no. Okay. The second question, I was up in Vermont on the 16th, doing some work up there. And I find out you guys had a meeting that was scheduled at the last minute for the Lexington Street. What's that? traffic meeting. I thought a public, it's an open meeting law. People are supposed to know about these things instead of scheduled at 10 o'clock in the morning a few days before, and a select few know about it.
Yeah, that's the first I heard of that. I have to find some
Well,
more
that's what it was
information
scheduled, on the 16th of July at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm getting text up there, and I'm like, why is that taking place?
Yeah, I'll find
So
out.
everybody here should have had the opportunity to know about it and schedule their time around it if they wanted to go.
Sure.
Thank you.
I have an update. Yeah. So the update is that question was brought up, that issue was raised. A couple people on the traffic commission agreed that this was too fast without enough information and requested that it get postponed for approximately 2 weeks. So no decision was made, no vote was taken, and the new